Coming up next on Samford News Network, football legend Tim Tebow visits campus. Hear how some special attendees had their dreams come true.
And SGA candidates are beginning to campaign. Hear more about the upcoming election.
And the start of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship is being hosted here in Birmingham. But hear how some Samford students are getting the chance to see more than just games during the tournament. Samford News Network starts right now. Hello, and welcome to Samford News Network. I'm Josiah Cotton.
And I'm Morgan Hutchinson. Thanks for joining us.
A football legend came to campus this week. Tim Tebow served as the 12th guest lecturer in the annual course Distinguished Author Series.
But for some special guests, the night was a dream come true. Samford special needs students received free tickets and signed copies of Tebow's new book. They also got to meet Tebow at a special VIP event. Alumni Relations Coordinator Kathy Acton says Tebow's care for people with disabilities is a great fit for the series goals.
So we've partnered with Turning Points, which is a program in our building for college students to go to college after their high school experience. And then also Unless You, which is a program in the community that was founded by Lindy Cleveland, one of our graduates, and we're very proud of that. So we always try to knit together some theme with what the author, what is paramount in his work. And of course, Mr. Tebow's with special needs students is kind of an obvious one with his Night to Shine. So, so we're very excited that he's willing to do that and that we could knit that opportunity together, and for our sponsors that actually provided the seats for the students to be here.
Tebow spoke at the event from his book, Mission Possible. You can find it at the bookstore or book retailers worldwide.
It's campaign week on campus as SGA candidates work to earn your vote. Candidates gave speeches in Reed Chapel on their platforms this morning. Campaigning began Monday. SGA will be having tabling events to promote the election this week and next week as well. SGA officials say they need more students to participate this spring to get their voices heard.
It's really important that you all vote because our SGA elections is a great way to bridge the gap between the students and administration. SGA is the primary way in which our administration hears from students, and so it's really important that you elect the right leaders that will advocate for you and that will speak up for you.
Elections will be all day Monday, March 20th. Students will get an email Monday to cast their ballot online. It's been winning season for the Bulldogs with 7 SoCon titles so far.
But athletics aren't the only one bringing home victories. SNN's Breck Brigham takes us inside their celebration after earning one of the most prestigious titles in the nation.
The debate team just recently finished up their normal season and had a fantastic outcome. To celebrate the end of the season and their success, they had a party in Brooks Hall last night. It was to celebrate those who placed and medaled at American Debate Association and to celebrate those going to the National Debate Tournament. Ella Ford, a freshman and new to the team this year, was so shocked when she won first speaker at ADA.
And then all of a sudden they called my name for first speaker, and I was so shocked, and yeah, it was incredible. It was an incredible feeling.
Now with the regular season behind them, those who were nominated for NDT are preparing. They will have a longer and harder time than a typical debate, but they are ready for the challenge.
Usually there are 6 rounds before we get into elimination rounds. This one will be 8 rounds. So regardless of how well or anyone does, we will be debating 8 rounds for one day and for the next day.
On March 7th, the team found out that Grace Blackwell and TJ Riggs qualified with a second round bid. They will go to the National Debate Tournament March 30th through April 4th. For SNN, I'm Breck Brigham.
Last year, Abby McKibben and Grace Blackwell won the ADA Nationals Tournament. The team says they hope to bring back another championship this year as well.
Samford and science are coming together in a unique way tonight. The Beats and Ball is Samford's formal dance. It's open to any Samford student. This year, it will be held downtown at the McWayne Science Center. The event is tonight at 8. You must bring your Samford ID. Parking is available at the 2nd Avenue North side of the McWayne Center. The human brain is complex and perhaps intimidating for some of us to really think about. But at SNN's Caroline Spikes found out students and researchers are showing campus just how simple it can be.
It's Brain Awareness Week here at Samford from March 15th through March 18th. Each day we'll have lectures, events, and booths to learn more about the human brain. Dr. Caitlin Corder says she has high hopes for this week.
We wanted to be able to not only, with this event, not only just teach, but we wanted to really get people to have a hands-on experience.
On Saturday, there will be booths set up on the second floor, right wing, and Pope's Hall. One booth will be run by senior Julia Spruall showcasing the claw. Using what they know about electricity and brain behavior, Julia will demonstrate the relationship between the two.
I just hope people, really realize the value of our brain and that it's not super intimidating. It's actually really cool, and I hope that they learn something new.
Julia's passion for neuroscience sparked before her freshman year. She says when she came to Samford 4 years ago, she only dreamed of having these opportunities. Julia will be Samford's first ever neuroscience graduate at the end of this semester.
For me, I'm really proud of the faculty. They've been incredibly helpful, incredibly kind, and incredibly dedicated to making me feel like I belong here and making this a place that feels like home and is hard to leave, but have prepared me well for the next steps. So I'm really grateful for them.
The entire department is excited about this first annual Brain Awareness Week taking place. On Friday, March 17th, there will be brain demos on Ben Brown. On Saturday, March 18th, the events will continue from 2 to 5 p.m. With the Samford News Network, this is Caroline Spikes.
You can find out more about this week's upcoming events on Samford's event page, samford.edu/events.
Samford Gives Back is a weekend full of ministry service, but this year students aren't the only ones hoping to spread the love in Birmingham. The Alumni Association is partnering with Grace Klein Ministries. The group will be cleaning, painting, and packing at their building. They will also be preparing a playground and community garden. The Alumni Association says they hope to share Samford's Christ-centered mission with the surrounding community during this and other events. Samford Gives Back will be this Saturday with ministry events happening across the city.
An initiative to help women serve as worship leaders is inspiring divinity students. Women-led worship night was held earlier this week in Harry's. The service featured author and minister leader Tara Beth Leach. She spoke about how her experiences as a woman in worship and church leadership. Beeson Divinity officials say they hope their worship nights help prepare students through mentorship from other women church leaders. Beeson Divinity will also be hosting a Women's Month worship service on March 20th. Officials say the service will give thanks to God for the women he used through biblical history. The service will be held at 7 p.m. in Reed Chapel.
Samford's theater department is going to the birds. This week, Samford will begin performances of the show The Birds. The play follows strangers sheltering in a house after masses of birds begin attacking humans. Performances are tonight through Sunday in Harrison Theater. You can purchase tickets at samford.edu/events. Participants in Zeta Tau Alpha's Mr. Samford have been practicing this week for their performance on March 25th. Each fraternity and sorority have selected representatives to compete for the title of Mr. Samford. The pageant is in support of breast cancer education and awareness and will take place on March 25th at 11 a.m. in the Wright Center. Tickets are available for $20 at tickets.samford.edu.
Stay up to date on all your latest Samford news with us online. Follow us on Instagram at SNN Samford.
Or you can watch our newscast on YouTube at Samford JMC.
Still to come on Samford News Network. The Big Dance has begun and is being hosted right here in Birmingham. But some Samford students are getting more than just a home court game. Learn how one professor is making the NCAA tournament her classroom.
And it may still be spring, but the Bulldogs already have fall on their minds. Learn how the SoCon Championship football team is beginning its spring practices. Samford News Network will be right back. March Madness has begun.
And while Samford is not in the Big Dance this year, Samford students are getting a front row seat to the championship. 4 games will be played today at Legacy Arena. West Virginia and Maryland play at 11:15. Alabama and Texas A&M Corpus Christi play at 1:45. Auburn and Iowa play at 5:50. Houston and Northern Kentucky wrap up the day at 8:20 tonight. Both round of 32 games will be played in Beham on Saturday as well.
Samford PR students will be working the first and second round games on Thursday and Saturday, along with practices on Friday. They will be helping media members at Legacy Arena throughout the weekend.
So I'll be helping working March Madness on Friday and Saturday, and I'll be helping the media in the media workroom, as well as kind of helping pass out media credentials, basically anything else that they need me to help out with related to the media.
Samford isn't in March Madness, but 20 years ago they were. SNN's Andrew Simonson caught up with two of the team's key players.
This season, Samford men's basketball won their first conference title in 20 years. Their fast-paced style and bond with campus saw thousands pack the Hannah Center. But Samford drawing crowds for men's basketball is nothing new. To understand Buckyball, you first have to go back to Jimmy Ball, the 1998 through 99 team. They won the first title in program history in the Trans-America Athletic Conference. The Bulldogs broke through that year with Boyd Kaiser and Corey Green.
I would say the expectations for everybody outside was probably not to really compete for it because, we were middle of the pack the year before, but I think we all knew we had a great core because we had everybody coming back.
Samford beat UCF to capture their first TAAC title in '99. The next season, the expectations changed, but the winning didn't. As the wins kept coming, so did the fans. And in return, the students packed out Cybert. Not the stadium, but the gym.
Student body was usually very supportive, and we got some pretty big crowds in Cybert, so in the old gym. And in that gym, you could really, when you pack it out, you get some great vibes and energy in there. You have people standing on baseline and everything.
The Bulldogs won the TAAC again in 2000 behind strong support. In 2018, the team was inducted into the Samford Hall of Fame. Both Kaiser and Green are still heavily involved at Samford. You may know Kaiser as the color commentator for Bulldog home games. Green became Samford's athletic director over external affairs last year. Most of the current players weren't alive to remember the TAAC, but Kaiser believes Bucky's Bulldogs are doing what made his team special.
To see it the last couple of years of the energy coming back and seeing the students back in here, to me, it's been great to see. And just that you can see that hard work paying off for those guys in all those off-season times when you see it on the court translated and you see it in the crowd and the energy.
For SNN, I'm Andrew Simonson.
Want to learn more about the back-to-back title teams? Visit the Samford Hall of Fame in the Pete Hanna Center.
Samford baseball has a couple of tough losses recently, but they are looking to turn things around in the next upcoming games. After losing games to both LSU and UAB earlier this week, the team played Columbia yesterday. The Bulldogs were down for most of the game until the 7th inning. They scored 6 runs in the 7th with Lucas Steele, a freshman outfielder, hitting a 3-run home run. The Bulldogs mounted a 4-run comeback and won the game 10-8. The Bulldogs play again tomorrow in a weekend series against UT Martin at home. Softball continues their home winning streak after being on the road for 2 weeks. The ladies took down Alabama State on Tuesday night after an 11-15 comeback led by Greer Bruce. Merritt Cahoon had 4 hits on the night, making it her new career high on the mound. Sarah Bond struck out 7 Hornet batters and only allowed 1 run after pitching 5 relief innings. This gives the team a 3-0 home field record. They will travel to the Rebel Invitational this weekend for their last non-conference weekend.
Instead of traveling for spring break, the golf teams were competing. The men's golf team placed 13th out of 15 teams. The women placed 5th out of 11 teams. The men were led by David Woodliff, who tied for 23rd out of 75 golfers. Bailey Dunstan and Kelly led the women, tying for 8th out of 64 players. After last weekend's performance, Alexis Lopez with the women's tennis team was named the SoCon Player of the Week. The team brought home a 4-3 win at College of Charleston over spring break. Alexis Lopez and Lauren Waddles won 6-4 on number 2 doubles court. Lopez also won at the number 1 singles spot with 6-4 and 6-3 wins. The ladies will be back on the court tomorrow afternoon to host Middle Tennessee.
It may be spring, but Samford football is officially back. Spring practice is in full swing for the Samford Bulldogs. They say they are looking forward to defending their 2022 SoCon title. Quarterback Michael Ayers says practices look a bit different in the preseason.
Really, for spring ball, it's just kind of about going over like the fundamentals. We're not like prepping for any teams necessarily like we usually do like during the season. So really just like going over the fundamentals and repping all the plays and, making sure, because we got a bunch of new guys too who are going to be really good for us, but they got to learn the offense and get familiar with everything. So it's basically what we're doing right now.
The Bulldogs' first game will be away against Western Carolina on September 9th.
That's all the time we have left for Samford News Network. Join us again next week for our latest episode.
In the meantime, get all your latest SNN news online at Samford JMC on YouTube or on Instagram at SNN Samford.
Have a great day.